This Organized Chaos video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Okay. I think we are good to go.
All right, we got Organized Chaos. He is here.
Yes.
Organized Chaos, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? You're cutting out a little bit, but...
accommodating my schedule. Appreciate you were watching. It was you and...
You're cutting out really bad, Ethan.
It on the screen. Where are you located? Are you in prison?
No, I'm in Ohio. Not too far off. Not. You there, Ethan?
Out, log back in, please, and see if we can get a better connection, because this is going to be a really difficult debate. It was lagging.
We can give it a shot.
The way.
Oh.
We're off to the races.
Okay, back to the link. Oh yeah, no, it's totally a power move. Yeah, absolutely.
Dollars says Ethan. Who are some of your favorite Golden Age and Silver Age comic artists? And if they were alive today, would they be a part of Comicsgate? That's a funny question. Hold on a second. There we go. He's shit. Okay. Little better, I guess.
So how you doing?
Robert? Alone?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Until he became...
Can you guys hear me? What's going on?
Not a Christian. Which time he was doing cartoons for Hugh Hefner and Playboy. Would be Steve... Yeah, I think he would be kind of a part of Comicsgate.
How well are you guys hearing
he'd
me?
be Comicsgate from an individual. I heard that perfectly, but you're... Hey, Robert, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, there's a delay. There's a long delay here. I don't know how...
Where are you at? Are you West Coast?
Why that's happening in Ohio. No. I'm in New Jersey. Famously, I'm right next to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Philadelphian,
okay.
New Jersey.
Yeah, my chat's saying they hear me
we're not too
fine,
far
so
apart.
Sure
I could drive to where you are in Okay, so you sound good to your chat. You're simulcasting?
Yes.
Oh, this is painful. Okay. All right, we're just going to have to take this slow. That's just the way it is. Let me see. California says, Ranguera, you ordered a Starblades comic from us and it was stolen from you.
Yeah, Ethan's chopping out again, it seems like. Let's see.
Hail, Comic Artist Pro Secrets, Pie. I 2 thumbs up. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. This isn't going to work. Joseph Vazio says, Comicsgate forever! And then one of these, and then one of these. Just like devil horns. So those 2 ideas together, I don't know if they can coexist, but you know, who knows? 200 Watt Studio says this. If you go back and watch that, those 2 guys were really great. And then we got to deal with these problems as well. Jocko Strap says, so you're shipping on November 23rd, like you told me? Well, maybe. November 23rd is when the printing is going to be done. That's what they're saying. That's what people who want their Cyberfrog Chromium edition. This was the I Spit on Your Hive variant, only available in the Blood Honey box. Absolutely good. Look on the other side, Robert. You're gonna like this.
Yeah, this is I don't even know what the fuck is going on here. He is
prettier, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. People, if comic you're gonna be collectors,
I suspect there's something up with his connection. I mute so we don't talk over each other. I don't know how his stream is right now, but this is weird. If you guys can hear and see me fine, this is just a weird thing going on right now.
Design. A lot of people like the original mirror design. I like to say that you can see yourself in my comics.
Yeah, he's talking to me, and I can't.
I don't know what this is, but it just makes me happy. No comment, eh?
No, you're very choppy. I don't know what's going to come through.
Here is the incredible Kenneth Roquefort cover. Here is the Our Family cover right here. And let me see here. This is the main one. This is the Jay Lee cover, Robert. Jay Lee drew this cover. Are he interested in doing? For me, another one, because he did a Cyberfrog cover back in 1997, and I said, "Oh, I'd like that." And he said, "Here's the price," and I went, "Pardon me," but once easily.
Well, I will say this: he has a Joy Division shirt on.
Of course, this is the main cover for Cyberfrog 2 Rock Planet. Out and just said, hey, he said, I've got Jay Lee doing one of my covers, a variant cover for my new book. I can't remember what it was that Tom King was doing. He said, I consider this one to be the main one because Jay Lee is doing art for a hate group. And he attempted to use Heather Ranto artwork for me. This cover, this iconic cover. For SJWs in mainstream comics at all.
I can barely make out what you're saying, Ethan. I've spent most of the time just talking to my chat.
That's okay. Okay. Until then, that's when I had a problem with SJWs, is when they tried to destroy Jay Lee's life because he did this cover for me. And he handled it with dignity, and he basically called off the dogs on his own by basically using his own brand of emotional tactics. And that shut them up pretty quickly. But that was a problem for me. I didn't like that. I did not like them going after Jay Lee or anybody who does work for me. I pay well. Persecute it. I don't persecute other.
Wait, are you honestly going to claim you don't persecute others?
For going to work for Marvel. Daniel F. Fraga. Oh, this is really, Robert, I want to talk.
No, this is so really, this is bad connection.
It's just not good. Are you coming through perfectly on your end?
Yeah, my chat hears me just fine.
I don't know what to do about it. Okay. And I'm coming through choppy on your end? Is that what it is?
Yeah, you're definitely choppy on me.
Robert, I want you to take a risk. Okay, I want you to take a risk. I want you to not try to live stream both sides. I want you to just be generous to me.
No, we're not doing that.
I want you to ask your... Why?
No, we're not doing that, Ethan. I'm not going to let you take this
doing
one-sided
what?
thing.
Well, suddenly you can hear me.
Yeah, no, if it's coming in clear, we can do it right now.
Well, it's not one-sided.
Yeah, we can talk. Yeah, I'm fine talking.
Suddenly, the Lord has cleared up the lines between us.
Yeah, it's a little bit clearer now. Yeah,
made our communication open. Okay, so what I was saying was I didn't have any problem. No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm done. I didn't have problems with SJWs at all until they tried to cancel Jay Lee for doing a piece of artwork for me. I thought that was beyond the pale. I didn't enjoy that.
But Cyberfrog.
All right, Robert.
Okay. Cyberfrog was after Comicsgate was created, correct? Comicsgate was already a thing when you did Cyberfrog, correct?
Comicsgate was a title. Wait, say that again. Comicsgate was already a thing before Cyberfrog was created? No. Cyberfrog goes back to the 1990s.
No, I'm talking about when you officially started doing Cyber, after you left Marvel and DC.
Mm-hmm. Comicsgate was something that was being discussed kind of vaguely in a joking way because of Gamergate. Mm-hmm. People, I think, wanted something like a similar culture war to be happening in comics. And a few kind of dubbed it Comicsgate. And I took that from being a movement, a war, a conflict between two groups of people into a group of people, into a club. Okay, which hadn't been done yet. I said, no, instead of calling us Comicsgate as though it were an accusation, we are Comicsgate. Mm-hmm. Here are me and my friends.
Okay.
We're going to call our club Comicsgate. And then I put on a show called Comicsgate Live all the time. Invited a lot of people to join to get their books funded. And Comicsgate became a brand. That I adopted. Amy's Birdhouse says, how come Ethan sounds completely fine to us? This isn't an EVS problem. This is a Robert problem. Well, he's saying he's coming across fine on his side of the aisle. So there you go. Mm-hmm. So Comicsgate became a brand. It became a club. It became a group. It became an idea between a bunch of friends. Yes. And then Cyberfrog came about.
Oh, God, we're losing it again. We are almost going.
Right after.
Oh, God, we are almost making a point.
I'll let that sink in.
Okay. So, Comicsgate, after... It was essentially a group that had already harassed people online, and now I'm cutting out on your end. Good fun. Okay, so Comicsgate was already a group that had harassed people online for a while, and you went ahead and took on that moniker, correct?
Harassed.
Not harassed? Are you serious? Have you seen some of the stuff they posted?
I think that they were using Twitter the way every one of the stuff that gets sent our way, my way, every single day. Have you seen some of the stuff that happened to Yubble for what they're receiving? I know that I do. I treat people with respect as long as they treat me with respect.
But does your community treat people?
I talk to them the way they talk to me.
Treat people with respect. And let's be serious, you don't treat people with respect.
Do all the respect they deserve.
Right. But do you honestly want to claim
200 what?
That the Comicsgate community has not ever harassed anybody? Do you want to take that claim? Did you hear me?
What define harassed for me? What does harassed mean?
Define it. Okay.
What is harassment? Yes.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure you know what harassment is, but it's just people badgering each other on Twitter, bombarding each other on Twitter can be harassment. There's all types of forms of harassment. Now I'm cutting out. This is ridiculous.
Just Twitter. That's just Twitter.
Oh, it's just Twitter. Have you ever told your fans not to harass somebody?
Unwanted contact. Repeated.
Oh, so it doesn't count if it's on the internet. I gotcha. So anything your fans do is excusable as long as it's on the internet. Is that what you're saying?
First of all, you still have not defined what I my comics. That is what they do, and
maybe this will help.
I don't know people. Mostly, the internet is largely negative.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it will.
So
look at your face there. That's nice.
Yeah. So you have this group in the internet that you're not. So okay, I'm brain farting.
No. I don't have a group on the internet. There is a group on the internet. Okay,
you just said you adopted it and took on the moniker.
Comicsgate is yes, I guess so, but I don't have a group. The fans are my customers. My customers are not my group. They're people who buy my comics. You understand? Marvel doesn't have a group. Marvel has customers.
Okay, so are you trying to say?
But I have my guys on Comicsgate Kings.
Okay, so are you trying to say you're not part of Comicsgate then?
No, I'm trying to say that Comicsgate is the label of a show that I put on. Comicsgate is an idea that I adhere to. It's all of those things at once. Comicsgate is a brand now, but a lot of people call themselves Comicsgate. A lot of people do stuff. I don't take responsibility for anybody but my own actions. That's it. I take responsibility for me. Just the same way Marvel Comics and DC Comics cannot take responsibility, say, because Tom King harassed Jay Lee and tried to drive him out of the business, tried to drive him to suicide, perhaps, simply for producing this excellent cover for me. Is that DC? Does DC have a harassment problem? Does Marvel have a harassment problem because people who work for them do shit the way that they do? Does Marvel? Maybe Marvel would like to take the blame for Heather Antos and her miserable behavior. and her cult of wokesters who tried to drive Richard C. Myers to suicide, tried to drive him out of work. Is that Marvel? Marvel Comics? Maybe so, because they fired her. And yet the industry seems to keep her around. She's still over there at IDW, telling people that if they vote Republican in 2022 in this election, they're voting for fascism and the erasure of everything she stands for. I don't think that's her job. I think that's harassment. I don't think anybody who buys her gay Transformers books, where the Transformers are largely all homosexual, need to fear her opinion, need to worry about how she thinks of them. I think they should just feel welcomed.
All right.
And their behavior is their own responsibility. As you know what, your behavior is your responsibility. I don't say Robert represents all of SJWs. I don't say Robert's behavior. Robert, do you want to take responsibility for all of the SJWs?
Okay, so you're saying SJW a lot, and you seem to be blaming all SJWs under this umbrella of harassing this person, then saying, they're individually responsible.
I don't, you do. I just say it seems like
That's literally what you just said, Ethan. Don't try to reframe your words.
No, hold on a second. No, I say that there's a culture, there's a movement, there's a mental illness called woke. And a lot of the adherents of this mental illness harass me. Have tried to drive me from work, my friends. And that's why we have a club called Comicsgate, because basically we are the victims of woke activists who seem to have an extraordinary amount of power and influence in the culture. So we've grouped together as Comicsgate in order to continue to be able to work. And yes, we do comment on the, I think, miserable behavior of these wokesters. I think it's important that we do that. We point out what they do. If they feel like they don't want to hear our opinion, that's fine. We don't want to hear their opinions either. And yet we're forced to. And there's a price tag put on their opinions.
All right. So you keep on throwing around buzzwords. Are you going to let me talk, Ethan? You keep on throwing around buzzwords. Tell me, in your opinion, what does woke mean?
Okay, so woke represents, or it used to mean, an awakening to the idea that certain groups of people, because of the color of their skin, are oppressed. And they have been systematically oppressed by society, mostly by white males, the patriarchy, for example. And therefore, everything can be explained, everything can be looked upon by who was an oppressor and who was oppressed. And if you align with woke, that changes your whole. That's like Tom Cruise realizing there's an alien in the volcano. That's going to change, like Scientology. That is going to change your viewpoint forever. And suddenly everything is going to be about correcting all of the systemic injustice that appears everywhere, even in comic books. And that becomes your entire way of life. It also makes you angry and hostile. It's a mental illness. It breaks you down as a person, and you become somebody who wants to destroy those who oppose you, somebody who wants to destroy people who you've classified as oppressors.
Okay,
that is
so
woke.
You're going on and on.
That is what woke basically means. It is a mental illness. And
it's a mental illness. So are you trying to say...
I'm explaining, Robert, you've got to appreciate the detail, the detail of my answers to you. You've got to say thank you, Ethan, for that thorough answer. That was
Thank you, Ethan, for talking over me 50 times already.
No gristle.
So, go ahead and explain to me.
You sound rattled, Robert. I'm just answering your questions.
Yes, and you're not letting me get another question out. So, are you trying to say that there has been no systematic oppression, period? That there's no reason for any of this stuff?
Robert, I just want to answer you.
Well, you're explaining it like it's some sort of mind virus.
I don't know. I don't care. I'm not woke. I'm not interested. Now, you're trying to sell me woke. I'm not interested.
Okay, so tell me what's woke about a lot of modern media. What is woke about it? He's shocked.
I don't think people who have been infected by woke, who are in modern media, who are using modern media to sell their ideas, using comic books, and using TV and using movies, and I don't want to hear it, and neither do most people.
So
most people don't want to be told constantly that they are
give me an example of something that is woke in media. Give me an example.
Robert, you see, when you say that, it's almost as though you didn't listen to what I just said to you. You're so anxious to give me another question that doesn't take into account what I've just said to you. Okay?
Well, you haven't given me an example, or unless you chirped out with it.
There are people who are woke. Okay, there are agents of woke.
Agents of woke.
Give you an example of woke. Okay, let's see. DEI hiring would be woke. ESG is woke. Initiatives that encourage people to be hired based on their skin color and identity. And that's everywhere. That's everywhere that you look. People who say things like, I don't know, we got a comic book here. Certainly are too many white men in this. Let's replace some of these white men with black females who are lesbian. Let me see. Are disabled people represented?
So
are these people represented? This and that. That's a woke kind of a thing. So, and ordinarily, it's okay. It's okay to have, to show more. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to ask you if it's okay to have that type of thing in a comic book.
You haven't going to stop talking. Go ahead. Sometimes. Yeah, I think it's okay sometimes. And it's a matter of opinion. You see, that's where the divide happens. Some people like that. Some people feel like that's refreshing. I want to see more woke. I want to see more deliberate storytelling choices that are about identity politics. Other people don't like it. Other people find it to be artificial. Other people feel like it's a lecture. Other people feel hectored to. Other people feel like it's patronizing and sanctimonious, and they don't enjoy it and they don't want to pay for it.
All right. So what's the goal of Comicsgate?
The goal of Comicsgate is to get away from you.
To get away from me?
That's the goal of Comicsgate. Creative freedom.
God, I didn't know there's a whole movement made to get away from me. That's impressive. Just me? God damn.
Well, you've assigned all of Comicsgate to me, and I'm assigning all of SJWs to you now, likewise. How does that feel? All of woke. You are a woke representative on the internet, just as I'm a representative of Comicsgate. So when I say, get away from you...
You want to play? Yeah. Okay, so Comicsgate's entire purpose is to get away from me specifically.
Robert, you gotta understand when somebody's like joking at you. You gotta figure that out.
Oh yes, that's it.
What is the goal of Comicsgate? Let me answer that question. Are you ready? Are you ready to hear the answer to the question? The goal of Comicsgate is that we be allowed to make comic books that don't align with your values if we want to. We want to be able to make comic books on our own terms, or we want to allow other people that opportunity without having to bend the knee to SJWs. We've already seen that it is a dangerous thing to oppose you in the mainstream comic book industry until such time as it is no longer, incentivized to hire woke activists in the comic book industry who make it inhospitable to people who disagree, people like Chuck Dixon, for example. Then Comicsgate is a necessity. We need to be here because there needs to be creative freedom. There needs to be diversity of thought. We don't need to be worried about diversity. Okay. We don't need to be worried about inclusion or representation. We need to be worried about stories, good stories, and or because not everybody is going to produce great stuff. Some Comicsgate books are just mine are great. Some Comicsgate books are like this. It doesn't matter. Everybody should have the right to make comic books, and up until recently, they did. And everybody should have the right to sort of coexist within.
Who doesn't have the right to make comic books
community
right now?
Of people who disagree, and until recently, that was the case.
So wait, who doesn't have the right? You make comic books, Ethan, or at least you would if you did less streams.
Robert, I want to introduce you to Cyberfrog 2: Wrecked Planet.
Yeah, exactly. You're allowed to make comic books, Ethan. You made a comic book.
Written by or drawn. I have had to fight every step of the way to be able to do this. Every single day, I have fought for the survival of my family against people who want to make it impossible for you to make comics, including now that I'm shadow banned on Indiegogo because of complaints, because of activism, and people like you.
Well, why do you have complaints?
This isn't something that I'm allowed to. I've had to fight for this, and everybody else has had to fight for it too.
Why are you banned from Indiegogo?
No, not that. People actually writing and saying you're platforming. Robert, do you think we're a hate group?
Yes.
You think these people? You think Graham Nolan? You think Irene Strakowski? You think Dan Fraga? They're a hate group?
Absolutely.
Then you're the problem. And you are the reason why Comicsgate needs to exist. Because people who disagree with woke are called a hate group and are deplatformed. So we need to exist. We need to continue to do this because hate groups don't get to make comics. They go to jail. They get deplatformed. They have all of their opportunities taken away from them.
So are you?
Which is what you do. What you're trying to do when you're calling my movement, which is against you, call people a hate group who disagree with woke as a tactic to deplatform people and to suppress free speech and free expression in comics. You are a problem. You are part of poison. You are the reason why Comicsgate must continue to exist. And you will be stamped out. You understand. History is going to look back at you and everything that you stand for being who you are and what you believe.
So, Ethan, you're literally arguing that hate speech should be allowed to go.
Not free expression.
But not woke speech?
You stand for suppression. This isn't hate speech.
Okay, then why are you yelling about stuff being woke if you don't stand for suppression?
You disagree with hate speech as a means to deplatform me. I'm saying I disagree with woke. But I can coexist with woke, or I would coexist with woke if woke allowed coexistence, but it doesn't.
I am fine existing
no wokesters
with
have those cute little coexistence
media.
Bumper stickers.
I'm fine existing with conservative media and conservatives. What I don't stand for is hate speech and bigotry.
Well, you call everything that we say hate speech and bigotry when it isn't. Well, see, you can define, when you get to define what is hate speech and bigotry, you get to suppress people that you disagree with.
Well, give me an example of...
And that's the problem. And frankly, I don't want to live by your standards.
Well, give me an example of a
neither does anybody else
in your own terms.
Nobody else. I don't need to give you an example. You give me an example. Of what makes Comicsgate.
You guys have used woke so much that it's just all over the place at this point. Everything's
law center.
I
not
could argue
pussies like
woke.
You on Twitter. Do you fucking understand? You do not get to define what a hate group is. You do not have that power. And if you look up the Southern Poverty Law Center, you'll see we're not designated as such. So that makes you and your friends liars. Liars who are trying to deplatform and silence people who disagree with you. Do you understand?
So
that's who you are.
So
that is why Comicsgate exists, in opposition to liars like you and forced adversity.
All right. So Comicsgate has clearly harassed people on Twitter. You know this. So have you ever called that out? Have you ever said that's wrong?
Harassment, you were unable to do so.
Well, have you ever said, hey?
No, because I don't know what you're talking about. You have to define harassment. You need to define what harassment is. Harassment is...
Well, as soon as you give me a usable definition of woke, I'll define harassment.
Is. You don't even know what a hate group is. I'm asking you to define what a hate group... Hold on now, Robert.
A hate group I said define a hate group, and
you said you guys are a hate group. Okay, under that level of insanity, you're...
A hate group is a group that hates anybody for honestly, minorities, women, stuff like that.
For those reasons. Full of minorities and women.
For those reasons.
We don't hate people for those reasons. We hate woke. We don't like woke ideology because woke ideology doesn't permit us to coexist with it. Are you starting to understand?
Woke ideology doesn't... So you're arguing that you're upset because woke ideology doesn't allow you to coexist with hate speech? Well, guess what? I'm okay with woke ideology forcing out hate speech.
Okay, but you keep this is a circular argument, Robert. You are defining what hate speech is, and we're saying it isn't. It's just free speech. Hate speech is anything that you disagree with. That's the problem with you guys. Nazis or Republicans, you guys are insane. You guys are absolutely insane. Under those circumstances where hate speech is anything that you disagree with, the Nazis are Republicans, and hate groups are people who oppose you in the comic book industry, and there is no way the FBI, Southern Poverty Law Center, has not designated Comicsgate as a hate group. They never will. Then you saying your harassment, you have no idea what harassment means. You can't define it for me. But I would say that your idea of harassment is equally misaligned.
Well, why don't you educate me? Tell me what harassment is. Any of those other things.
I would say your definition of harassment can't be relied upon, and that's why you can't offer it to me.
No, help me out, Ethan. What does harassment mean? But I encourage
you to. What is harassment, Robert? I'm sorry if I'm yelling. Harassment would be consistent, persistent, unwanted contact with people who have asked you to please leave them alone. Therefore, I have been harassed constantly.
No, public figures get harassed. Lots of your fans
since I became part of Comicsgate. Oh. Say that again. Well, what did you just say? Public figures what?
I said public figures can get harassed. Lots of your fans have harassed me.
Right. So public figures are part of the good thing about being a public figure is that you receive a lot of attention and some money. I get money, I get attention. I appreciate those things. The bad part about it is that people get to say things about you. You no longer have your privacy. People can criticize you. If you're a pussy, you call that harassment, which is what the industry did to your boy Zach and continues to do even through this conversation. When people are criticizing comic book professionals, that is not harassment. They are public figures who are producing work that is meant to be enjoyed by everyone. And when they fail, they get booed and hissed at.
Nobody has said that's not harassment, but it's when you're talking about slander or libel, legal terms, harassment's different.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ethan, I hate to tell you this, but when you have Comicsgate, people working with Comicsgate who get harassed, I have minimal sympathy because Comicsgate as a group has harassed many people. That's part of why you get this.
I don't care. We're not asking for your sympathy. We don't want your sympathy. We want to be left alone by you.
Then why are you telling me about them getting harassed then?
We want to be able to do comic books.
Okay, then do comic books and leave.
Why are you making multiple
alone?
Videos? You enforced adversity, calling what I do, my business. I don't talk to you. You're not my customer. Why are you in Forced Adversity making multiple videos slandering my business and saying that my business is a scam? Why are you doing that?
Well, when's the last
time
you
released? What did I do to you? You're not my customer.
So Ethan.
Why are you trying to drive my customers away from me?
Ethan, how far delayed is your last comic book?
Robert.
How long delayed is your last comic book?
It doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My comic book has an estimated ship date. Well, I'm just about to answer you. My comic book on Indiegogo asks you to estimate a shipping date. These are not pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who are donating money to allow a project to get funded so that it can happen. And I got to roughly estimate based on nothing, just based on what I think, what I hope, when the book is going to ship. I'm doing it all by myself. I'm running a business out of my house, me and my wife.
You're doing it all by yourself?
We have many obligations,
why don't you hire some
and therefore, people? Cyberfrog 2, Wreck Planet, we can't afford it.
You can't afford it?
I know it seems like you've got so much money. That money gets spent. We do hire people every now and then, a little bit of help. This product that I make, I'm making action figures.
You're making homemade action figures?
T-shirts. I'm making comics that look like this. No, sir. No, I'm manufacturing action figures. Yes.
Yeah.
Using help. Other people are helping. Okay, to sculpt. They're being made over in China. I don't have to home make those. I know you're making a great point here that I have some help. But no, the day-to-day operations of running a publishing house and making sure that the trains run on time. Mm-hmm. While also producing a comic book is entirely on my shoulders and my wife's. So sometimes things get a little bit delayed. Sometimes the trains don't run on time, and sometimes we bite off a little more than we can chew. I got to ask you, do you really believe in your heart of heart that I'm not going to deliver the product, the comics? When have I ever failed to do that? Everything gets done. You guys lie to your audience and say that it's a scam. You are driving customers away, working really hard as somebody basically running a small business, pulling along dozens of other creators so that they can do what I that's harassment. By your definition, what you guys do all day long is harassment. I didn't ask for your commentary. You're not my customers. You don't care what we do, and you're trying to suppress my speech. You're trying to suppress people who are opposed to what you stand for, to your philosophy, who still just want to be left alone and make comics. You want to make their lives harder. You want to make my life hard. You want to make Dan Fraga. You want to make Shane Davis, John Malin, Graham Nolan, Aaron Lopresti, Irene Strakowski. You want to make their lives more difficult. And I got to think, why? What do you get out of that? Is it money? Are you getting super chats for it? I am. I'm getting super chats right now. That's why I'm arguing with you.
So
what do you do it for?
So Ethan, you're arguing.
Who's paying you? Who's paying you to make my life harder?
Ethan.
Who's paying you to make my life harder?
I'm going to read off one of your tweets. I'm sure you'll recognize it. Crowdfunding is meant to raise money to...
I just asked you a question. Who is paying you to make my life harder?
Nobody's
For what reason are you doing this? For what reason are you weighing in on what I do? Oh, you're volunteering to do that. So nobody's paying you. Your only agenda is harassment. No, I don't. That is a fucking lie. Again, you just lied. You are a liar. And this is why we must oppose you. This is why Comicsgate exists. Because you lie, you slander, and you harass a group of people who are only trying to make comic books independent of you and your mob of crazy people. Who believe that all black people are the same and all gay people are the same and they're all equally victimized and they need to be shuffled off into voting blocks and pandered to by you. That's what woke is. It's ridiculous. That's what you believe.
Right.
That's what you believe. You believe in marginalized people.
Right.
Oh, that's not what you believe. You don't believe that people are marginalized based on their identity? Do you?
Of course they're marginalized based on their identity, but they're not monoliths, Ethan.
But based on their identity, right. Okay, go ahead and read my tweet.
All right. So, this is very small text. All right. So what you said was, crowdfunding is meant to raise money to be able to make a project. It's literally, I'm a creative person that doesn't have resources to make this. Can I ask you to become producers and give me funds to make this work a reality? The comic is meant as a bonus.
That's right.
So
that's exactly what I just said.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If I want to get the latest Cyberfrog comic book,
yes,
how would I get that?
You would, if you want to get the latest Cyberfrog book that's in print, you'd go to our eBay store and you'd buy it straight out. Product already exists.
Well, if I want to order the upcoming one?
Then you will go to Second Chance Cyberfrog 2 Wreck Planet campaign and you will back that campaign and give me the funds, add to our funding so that we can produce.
You just said in that tweet, if I back the campaign, you may not give me the comic book. I want the comic book.
No. You see, you're stupid. Sorry, no, you're not stupid. Whoever took that and took that out of context is stupid. Let me explain it to you, Robert.
That's literally what you said right there.
You want to know the real reason why that's a thing? Well, I'm going to explain it to you. If you'll give me a second. So the whole idea of crowdfunding is to be able to raise capital to make a comic book, and the capital is not income. That is why, because if it were income, okay, you would be taxed on the income that comes in. In other words, your $25 would get whacked $10 by the IRS because it would be considered income. This is not my money. This is working capital. This money is taxed differently, okay, by the IRS than it would be if it were income. Therefore, it isn't and cannot be considered a straight purchase. So when you're backing a comic book campaign, the reason they don't say your purchase, they call it perks. This is what crowdfunding is. The comic book is a bonus. It's like when you give money to PBS and they send you home a tote bag with a DVD in it. You're not purchasing the tote bag. That's a perk that you're being given. If you want to consider it a purchase, you can. Okay. But we understand that basically these are called perks. They're what you get for donating to a campaign to produce a product at a certain level. If you give us $100, we're going to give you all of this as a perk. Thanks for helping to make this happen. Do you understand?
But you may not. But what
that makes sense.
What all you're saying right now is essentially, hey, you get a perk.
No, that's what the
maybe you don't.
That's what. Right. That's not what I say. You definitely get perks with me. You're going to get your perks. That's what Kickstarter and Indiegogo say, so they don't have to be responsible for the failure. And there are many failures in crowdfunding.
In crowdfunding?
I'm explaining literally.
I'm not going to lie. That tweet really explains why Indiegogo so-called shadow banned you.
That is Indiegogo's philosophy. That is their business practice that I'm explaining to you. See, the problem is you think crowdfunding is shopping. That's not how it works. It is on me. When people give me $100 to make comic books,
crowdfunding is not shopping. Crowdfunding is a promise. If I reach this goal, you will get these things. That's what it is.
I just said, right. I just said that. So you're agreeing with me.
When is your new comic book coming out?
Robert, follow me carefully here. The way that it went out, probably at the end of November. We should be expecting them to be finished printing November 23rd, and then they will be shipping out beginning of December, maybe the end of November. And we got all the covers in today. They look fantastic. The chromium is a big problem. This takes a month to produce. This is the Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet Issue 2 Wraparound Villainous Scum cover. Chromium. Comic books used to look like this in the 90s. Mm-hmm. They don't look like this anymore, but they're able to look like this. We're able to make comics as beautiful as this now. That look like collectible, desirable objects because of crowdfunding, which is amazing.
Fancy. So what percentage of the crowdfunders will get that?
Whoever backed it. Yeah, I mean, there are people who you had to directly order that. You choose that. You go, I want that one. That's the perk I would like to be given.
We'll get that.
Every single one of them.
Okay, so when that comic book comes out, I'm not going to see any complaints, am I?
Robert, I have fulfilled. I hope not. You never know. There are going to be complaints. We're dealing with 14,000 customers.
Well,
but everybody that ordered it will get it. And if they don't get it, they can write to us and we will replace it. That's why I over-order to make sure that, people who get their books damaged, doesn't happen too often, but it does, or they get lost in the mail, we make sure that they get their perks. They are perks. We make sure they get their perks. And then whatever's left over, and we use the money. This is where we make our money. Okay? We overprint. So we overprint by about 20%. So if I'm making 100 of these, I'm making way more than that. But if I'm making 100, I'll make 120. These go to the people who gave me the money. And then the extra 20 go up on eBay, and we keep that money. And that gets taxed at a sales tax level and as an income level. That's product that we're selling. Excuse me for a minute. Just getting over being sick. The cold twice.
That sounds rough. So, you overprint, but there are people who don't get the shipment. I find it very interesting you're banned from Indiegogo now. Indiegogo is a very flexible site.
I'm not banned from Indiegogo.
You just said you were.
Yes. No, I said shadow ban. That means that sometimes on the site, there are a few of our campaigns that you can't see. We don't know why that is. I'll blame you.
All right, cool.
I'll blame you for that. And when you just said that people don't get their stuff, you're lying. They do. I just told you they do always get their stuff. And if they don't, they can write to us at cyberfroghelp@gmail.com, and we will send you out a second shipment.
So let me ask you this. So this new comic book you're shipping out, when did that campaign start?
March of 2020.
All right, so 2.5 years delay on a comic book.
No, there's not a delay, Robert. That's how long it took to
It takes 2.5 years to make a comic book? Are you serious?
The other things that we were making. It's not a comic book. It's an installment of Cyberfrog. It's not a 20-page comic. It's a beautifully exquisite comic book. It also has another book called Salamandroid Death Sting, a companion book that is 20 pages. And it also has another book called Cyberfrog Heartsick Horror that is free. Another 20-page comic that's right here. We just got this in the house the other day. This is free for anybody who backed at the $25 level. They will receive this extra compendium. This contains 2 stories by Kanan White and also E.J. Moore, just written by me, that'll take you into the dark heart of Heather Swain, who was way more popular than I anticipated. Andrea was saying today, Heather Swain could carry her own book. People are really interested in her. So fantastic artwork here. This is simple. I mean, this is just a freebie.
So. Are the advertisements
anybody
standard
who backed
for your stream,
the
or
original
just because
campaign is going to receive this? Robert, you got to be honest with me.
I have been.
What is live streaming for? I just asked you what you do this for. Why do you torment me? I talk about what I talk about because it's my job, because I'm selling comics.
Months, and all of a sudden you're doing
why are you here bothering me? Why are you contributing to my harassment? Why are you contributing to my harassment on the internet with that other weirdo? What do you get out of it? What do you get? You telling the truth? I've caught you lying like 6 times in this, interview so far.
You've caught
6
me
times
lying.
you're lying. So what do you get out of it? You think you're telling the truth?
Name one time I've lied.
I just told you. One, you just said that you just lied and said, one, you're a hate group. That's a lie. That is a lie. 2, you said some people aren't going to get their perks. No, I just told you everyone is going to get their perks. You ignored me and you responded by just saying some people aren't going to get it, but you overprinted.
Tweet.
You're not listening
Ethan,
to me,
you
Robert.
literally
You
made a tweet talking about how not everybody's going to get their perks. You literally made a tweet saying not everyone's going to get their perks. That isn't true.
That isn't. You read that the way that you wish.
That's what it says.
Read it again.
That is literally what it says.
Slowly this time. Read it again. That is a lie. I just told you what it meant.
Ethan, if we
read
can't
it again for me,
agree
Robert.
on
That's literally
reality,
what it says.
this is not going to go very well.
I can't stand it, dude. Listen. My chat is calling you a liar. They're calling you disingenuous. Do you want to be like that, or do you want to read the tweet
your chat
again?
Doesn't like me after you do.
Well, Robert, I'm saying,
do you want times? I'm shocked. I am shocked.
You could. Well, Robert, you could easily win this debate. You could win this argument by rereading that tweet, and the fact that you won't read it just seems dishonest to me.
I read it again. Already, Ethan.
And this time, listen.
I read it already, Ethan. You literally say the comic is a bonus.
Read it one more time. See, that's why people say that you're a liar. Is because I'm saying like
fucking thing over and over again.
If I'm saying you read it once. I explained what it meant. You ignored my explanation. And when I told you what it meant, I was just telling you the definition of crowdfunding, how crowdfunding works, and the terminology of crowdfunding. You ignored that, and you just pushed forward with your agenda, with your whole... see, that's dishonest. I just explained to you what it meant, and then you maybe you didn't understand. I'm asking you to read it again so I can reiterate what that means. And now you're refusing to do so. This is why you guys are clowns and liars. This is why Comicsgate
exists. Because I don't reread a tweet that you wrote?
Because of your performance here right now tonight. That's right. What the
fuck does that even mean, Ethan? You're just saying
one
words
symptom
at this
of your
point.
illness.
Do you understand that words have to be put together properly, construct a sentence?
Yeah, you think so? Robert, stop trying to antagonize me. We're trying to have a conversation. I'm trying to get to the truth of this and explain to you what's going on, and you're refusing to do so.
So let me ask you this. Are all your customers happy?
Reread the tweet now. No.
No.
Some are impatient. They're angry. Now reread the tweet, Robert.
No.
Reread it.
No.
Why?
Because you're demanding it now.
Okay. Because you lied, and I want to make it clear to you what that tweet means. And now you feel caught. You feel trapped. You're moving on. I'm not letting you move on. I've caught you in another lie. You've lied again. And now you're refusing.
I like how you're just saying I'm lying. You're just creating random instances when I lie.
You could, but you are lying.
You do know, you do understand.
But you are
that
lying because you could just
stuff,
say, "Oh,
right,
I didn't
Ethan?
understand." But instead, you insist. Yes. And you haven't been able to define any words, including harassment tonight.
I mean, you
and I've
haven't
defined all of them.
Shit, dude.
How do you feel? You feel stupid yet? You feel stupid yet?
I would feel stupid if I were you, but
how much longer? How much longer until you start to realize that you look stupid tonight? Do we have to keep going?
Hey, it's up to you. I
got your audience and my audience. I'm asking for transparency. I'm asking you to be honest and play fair, and you won't.
All right, well, let's just have a conversation. Tell me what specifically about woke culture in the comic books that you're campaigning against. What specifically are you against?
I don't care. I don't care. I'm against you because you're a liar. I'm not going to go any further than this because you're lying and you won't even back up and acknowledge. You won't even play fair in this debate.
Dude,
I just asked you to go back.
Conversation.
Don't act like nerd. Don't give me the. Oh my God, Robert, I can't do this with you. You don't get to listen. I'm perfectly willing to answer all your questions, but you lied about something, and I'm forcing you now. This is forced adversity. I'm forcing you now to go backwards and reread that tweet and let me explain it to you again,
Ethan,
so that it penetrates your thick brain.
Ethan, you really.
I'm not penetrate your
the tweet. You've already demanded it too much, but I already read it. Explain it to me. You wrote the words.
Why?
You're demanding that,
and I stand by them.
Go ahead. You stand by the comic book as a bonus.
That's so stupid. The comic book is a perk. It's a bonus. It's considered a bonus. It is not a purchase. That is not the way crowdfunding works. Because if it did, then I'd have to charge you sales tax. It would be taxed differently. That is why Indiegogo and Kickstarter have created it so that it's considered a bonus. Thanks for your support. Because you supported this creator making this comic, we're going to give you a comic. Wink, wink. You understand?
Yes, Ethan.
That's why you have to use a specific language, or else crowdfunding is going to go away.
So
crowdfunding will go away. It will become a store.
If it's just a perk and everybody's going to get the perk, then why make that tweet?
Because I have to explain to people. Because I have to explain to people reality, the truth, because people don't understand it.
Well, it seems like something you won't have to explain 6 or 7 times.
I'm not sure that you understand it yet. Well, all my customers are never going to be happy. That's not a realistic expectation. I have 14,000 customers. What percentage of them do you think are unhappy with this?
Hey,
can I ask you?
I'm not demanding that they all be happy, but I am asking that you ship all of them to their customers. I am asking you ship all your customers.
I promise you I will.
So
I promise
there are customers you haven't shipped to.
Just like I did my other 17 campaigns. No. All of the campaigns that are fulfilled, and there's like 17 of them, all the customers have gotten their perks that I know of. And if they haven't, they can write to us and they can say we didn't get them.
So if all your campaigns are in good shape,
campaigns that have not been fulfilled yet, that's a great question. Why are they shadow banning Shane Davis, who just finished Indiegogo's
we aren't talking about Shane Davis. We're talking about you.
Why are they shadow banning Graham Nolan?
We are not talking about Graham Nolan. We're talking about you.
Why are they shadow banning Graham Nolan?
Ethan, we're talking about you.
Okay.
Why are they shadow banning you?
They're shadow banning me for the same reason. I'll rephrase the question. They're shadow banning me for the same reason, if there is a reason, and this isn't just a mistake, that they're shadow banning Shane Davis, that they're shadow banning Graham Nolan, that they're shadow banning Aaron Lopresti, that they're shadow banning the poor guy that started a comic book called Frog G. Shadow ban him. All of these guys who are Comicsgaters, who are trying to produce comics on Indiegogo, all of a sudden, and it's probably because of the financial struggles of Indiegogo. I think people are quick to point the finger. They're quick to be paranoid, thanks to people like you. Okay, but I think it probably has more to do with the fact that Indiegogo is having some financial problems right now.
So you're shadow banned because Indiegogo
whatever
has
reason I'm shadow banned is the same reason.
So they haven't given you an email or anything?
I'm not sure. Good question. No.
Have you contacted them?
No, they haven't. Yes.
And did they reply?
I've attempted to. No. And a lot of people have. A lot of people have written to them and said, why is, I don't know, maybe like a couple of weeks?
A couple of weeks, and they haven't gone back to you? A lot of these comics are disappearing.
No. It's awful.
All right. Well, that is definitely something you need to address.
Basically, what it means is...
I find it very suspicious.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I agree with you. I find it suspicious, too. Seems like persecution. Seems like, since it couldn't be about, well, your books are late because other people who have shipped on time are also under the same circumstances as me. It seems like it could be more shitheads like you. Could be more of the woke mind virus.
I mean, I do run Indiegogo.
Could be more of the woke. Well, I mean, it's either political discrimination or it's an accident at this point. So I'm hoping it's an accident and not political discrimination. But if it is political discrimination, it's why Comicsgate exists, which brings us back to the beginning of this debate with you, which I've enjoyed thoroughly. If it's political discrimination, which it seems to be, because other people who are shipping on time are facing the similar circumstances as I am, this is why Comicsgate must exist. It must exist. We must pull together and continue to fight for the right to make and sell comic books in this crazy, hostile environment that you perpetuate every single day.
It's a topic shift, not... Okay.
Yeah.
So, give me an example of a woke comic book you're combating against.
I'm not combating against any woke comic books. Zero. Settle. I don't care. They're allowed to exist too.
You've
just like I should be allowed.
Videos complaining about them.
Making fun of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So you've seen my videos, and so therefore you know. I don't have to give you an example.
I can't do a video making fun of you. That's your standard, right?
I'm asking you why. I'm asking you why you're doing it. I've told you what my agenda is. My agenda is to push back against woke and to make money. So I'm doing those videos for money.
You can't even define woke for me.
Why are you doing... Are you nuts? I defined woke at the beginning of this stream.
You gave me a fucking 20-paragraph long word salad. That's not a definition, dude.
Chat, did I not define? Did I not spend a good 60 seconds thoroughly defining woke? Anybody can go back and rewatch. You're gonna look like a clown.
Okay, Robert, so give me an example.
You're not listening to me.
So if you can define woke, give me an example of a woke comic book.
A woke comic book. Well, there are lots of woke comic books. I just watched one. I just looked at one on Kickstarter the other day. I don't have a problem with woke comic books. People who are woke, who want to make comics, they should be allowed to do that. There was one that was about disabled non-binary people having sex. It's on Kickstarter right now. It's bizarre, and the guy who drew it draws it with his mouth. Because he's got small arms.
So it's an independent comic book.
So he actually has to draw with his mouth.
So it's an independent comic book.
Yeah, that's a woke comic book. Yeah,
so
it's woke. It's
about... Comicsgate is fighting against that?
Disabled, non-binary. No. We're fighting for the right to coexist with that. We should be allowed to make comic books too.
All right. So
listen.
Give me
we can make fun of things like
woke comic book
that, but I don't have a problem with that existing. Again, you're not listening. Listen carefully. It's not that we're fighting against woke comic books. They are a symptom, okay? They are the end result. They are the excrement of the woke people who've infested the comic book industry who are trying to push me out. Do you understand? I'm not fighting with their comics. I'm laughing at them. I'm fighting with the people, the individuals who are making those comic books and making it inhospitable for people like me, people like Graham Nolan, people like Chuck Dixon, people like Mike S. Miller. They don't want to coexist with us. They call us Nazis. They say, we have to protect our space. We're not allowed to go to comic book conventions. They call comic book conventions. They call those their spaces now.
Ethan.
So I don't care about the books that they're producing. Do whatever they're going to do, they can do. I have a problem with the fact that woke cannot coexist with anything else. It doesn't coexist with anything else.
Well, Ethan, you do coexist. You're literally right here talking about a comic book that took you 2.5 years to produce.
That's right. Yeah, I'm here because I figured out a way around it. Now, see, it's starting to percolate in your brain. Okay? This is why Comicsgate needs to exist. This is why it needs to exist, because I'm still here. Okay? Despite all of these people who were trying to push me out and make it so that I would literally, Mark Waid said, we'll have him bagging groceries by next year. Literally said that. Okay. I'm a creative person. I'm somebody who has made some of the greatest comic books at DC of my generation. And these people won't let me make comic books at DC anymore. They've pushed me out.
Dude,
not only out of DC.
You
that's fine.
don't have
DC
a right
can do what
to
they
make
want.
comic books at DC. They're a corporation that can decide what they want to do.
Yes, I do. I have a right to make comic books. I just said
I didn't say you didn't have a right to make comic books. You don't have a right to make them at DC, though.
They said you'll be bagging groceries. I don't care. They said you'll be bagging groceries. That means not making comic books. They don't want me to make comic books. You understand? And I said, I'm going to continue to make comic books. And we figured this out. We figured out YouTube is promotion. That's important. Indiegogo or Kickstarter as a means of collecting funds in order to make the comic books themselves. And here we are. Here we are. We're still here. And you are still arguing with us. And you, in spite of this, are still trying to make me bag those groceries.
I'm not trying to make you bag groceries, Ethan. But I would like you to take some responsibility. Leave us alone.
As I've said this to you. I take responsibility for everything that I have done, which is greatness. And I will be remembered for decades. If the comic book industry is to be remembered, I will be remembered as one of the most important people in the comic book industry. And my persecution makes me a martyr, which is wonderful.
Oh
Thank you.
God,
yeah,
Ethan.
Seriously, asshole.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
You have such
I'm somebody who persisted and allowed. I know, it's great. It's called a messianic complex. But yes. Because of me and because of what I've done and the shit that I put up with you, hundreds of creative people.
The shit you put up with me, I'm like a fifth your size, dude.
Excluded from the comic book industry, from you.
Yeah, sure.
Because of what I've done, hundreds of creators are able to make comics. Hold on.
Because of what you've done, hundreds. Okay,
amazing.
Fine.
I'm amazing what I've done. I will be remembered in a positive way for decades. Because this is bigger than you. Because you're wrong. You're a liar. Everything that you profess to believe is a lie. And everything that I'm doing is showing results.
Give me an example of something I profess to believe that's a lie.
How many more examples do I need to give you?
Give me one.
You just called Comicsgate a hate group. That is a lie.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And when I asked you to define...
Ethan, I won't even hold you accountable for the things that the Comicsgate fans do. If you would occasionally say, hey, guys, this is unacceptable behavior. Don't do it. But you encourage it.
And what behavior do I encourage? What do you mean?
Literally, dude, you call out people.
What are you talking about? Yes, really.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so what? They call me out too. I'm not allowed to call people out. They're public figures. I'm a public figure. So what?
Well, Ethan, you use your group. You
just said that was
people.
okay.
You never ever say, "Hey guys, don't do this." You let your fans run wild.
No, I don't.
You just sit back and watch.
No,
watch
I don't.
Them go nuts.
You do. That's what you do.
That's what I do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you've dealt with a huge rush of organized chaos fans.
What are you doing this for? See, when you say, Ethan, why do you do what you do? I say, because of this. Okay? And because of every other... I wish I had a stack of Comicsgate books in front of me, but I cleared my desk today. Because of all the books that we've been producing. That's why I do what I do. Now, why do you do what you do?
Because I don't stand up for bigotry.
Which is lie.
Really?
Okay, that's right.
You keep on making up.
Yes, you do.
You keep on saying I'm lying when you haven't pointed out a single lie that I've said here.
Yes, I have. Many of them, and you're just not listening. Same way that you said you didn't define woke when I carefully and beautifully, exquisitely defined it at the beginning of this conversation.
Yeah.
You're not listening to me. And other people are. Fortunately, 1,360 people are here and they're listening. That's great. Robert, I was actually worried about you because I gotta say, out of all of the weirdo soy boys, no offense, you seem like the smartest. Like you're way smarter than Dane. You're way smarter than Dane. Little movie perp is like a little goblin. Yeah, like he's a dummy.
Yeah,
but you actually, it seemed like you had a brain.
Firing shots at my friends. I see what you're doing.
Like this was, I don't know what this is, man. This is like a game of wiffle ball. I'm sorry. Do you have any further questions? Because I really have stuff to do.
I would love it.
What's your summation?
I would absolutely love it if you gave me an example of something woke in a comic book.
Something woke in a comic book. Spider-Woman on crutches.
Who was that?
That is a lesbian. I don't stand against it. I just laugh at it. I just laugh at it. Anytime somebody says, hey, you know what?
don't stand against it. So if your fans decide to go bombard that person with hate speech, say awful things to him, would you say, hey, guys, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Hey, I'm sorry, hate speech, did you say?
Yeah.
Did you say hate speech?
Yes.
Listen, that's hate speech? Is it to just be like, this was stupid?
No.
This comic book is dumb?
Dude,
this was a dumb
you have
idea.
not read the comments from your fans if you think that's all they say.
Right. My fans. Sure. Robert, I take responsibility for my own actions. I don't, ask you to take responsibility for Nerdette.
For people who listen to you.
I don't. Would you take responsibility for Nerdette's behavior?
I don't even know who Nerdette is. Why would I take responsibility for?
Who has been demonetized because of her behavior? Yes, you do. Nerdette's newsstand, Tristan, part of your community. She's been demonetized for her behavior. Do you take responsibility for her?
I don't even know who she is, Ethan. Listen.
Okay, I don't know these people that you're talking about either. I don't know who you're talking about.
Harassment campaign. You don't know who your fans are?
I don't know who you're talking about. You haven't been able to define harassment for me. No, I really, you know what? I love them all. They're all angels because they buy my comics. Thank you, my fans.
Okay.
Thank you. By the way, go back Cyberfrog 2 Second Chance Wreck Planet. The link is in the description below. All of you, thank you so much for supporting this comic. This was not an easy thing to do. This book was quite an endeavor. We were able to make PVC toys, chromium cards, 9 chromium variant covers, 3 glow-in-the-dark covers, and really push the story forward. Cyberfrog 2 Wreck Planet is an emotional story about family. It's about loyalty. It's about obligation. And it is a lot about what is going on right here in this debate as well. So I want to thank everybody who has backed that. Thank you. I will not let this guy say bad things about you. It's ridiculous. You guys are angels. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for making it possible for me to continue to make comics in the face of the strife that Robert throws in my way. Thank you so much. Robert doesn't want me to make comics.
Ethan, I'm fine with you making comic books. I'm not cool with the harassment you bring to the community.
It has lied about. Well, what about the harassment that we endure all the time? What about the harassment that Jay Lee endured by Tom King for doing a comic book with me? I never did anything to Tom King.
Well,
Jay Lee is just an artist. What about that? What about them trying to get him a valuable artist like Jay Lee? They throw me away. They throw Jay Lee away too. Do you understand what you stand for? That's what you represent.
Yeah,
you represent silencing creative people.
Isn't that bad?
Over political differences. You know what? That's your excuse. And if that helps you sleep at night, it isn't bigotry that you stand against.
If you don't
stand against people who oppose.
I've heard you say bigotry. I've heard your fans say bigotry.
You stand against people who oppose your cult.
No, I say it against bigots.
You don't. You're a soy boy, and you stand against it. You stand for woke. That's what you do. You stand for woke. So you think you stand against bigots, but
I have to ask
I stand against bigots too. I stand against you then,
because this soy shit's been so disproven, and you love to use it.
It's a nice way of not calling you gay. You know, like in the old way of like people used to say.
Let me ask you this: is gay an insult?
Yeah.
So. Okay, so
it used to be. Now it isn't so much. It should be again.
So calling somebody gay should be an insult
because it didn't mean homosexual. It meant lame.
Really.
Well,
even I'm old enough to know that's exactly.
It didn't mean homosexual. I would say something so gay that means lame.
Ethan.
No, it didn't. You're not old enough to remember that. So soy is a nice way of saying, instead of saying gay, because here's the problem. All right. Now, the problem is you're quite right. Like, listen, people don't want to insult homosexuals. They don't want to insult the LGBTQ community, but they still want to use the kind of word that means lame, the way gay used to, but it no longer does. So we call you soy, okay, which means kind of weak, femmy, like linguini spined. That's what it means. We call you soy boys.
I like seeing your homophobia.
Yes, pussies. I just told you why it wasn't homophobia. Soy is about...
And then you did homophobia, dude.
Replacing that to avoid homophobia.
Oh,
no, I didn't.
So if we just use
I said in the old days, people said gay, but they didn't mean homosexual. They meant lame.
So it's always a dog whistle for homophobia.
Is it a dog whistle?
Yes.
It's a frog whistle. No, it isn't. It just isn't. You're lying again. You're not listening. You have selective hearing. You know, I'm being honest with you and forthright. I didn't do that. You are lying again.
Wow.
Real time, you're lying. Like, you're not even waiting to go back and recut this in order to say this.
I don't have to recut.
You're lying real time while people are listening to you.
You're owning yourself nicely.
Okay, please don't. Now listen. Yeah, right. Listen again. In the old days, by that I mean the 90s, people used to say, stop being gay. They didn't mean homosexual. They meant lame.
Ethan,
okay, but now that's politically incorrect because nobody wants to insult.
And that's exactly what
nobody wants to insult homosexualities.
That's exactly what it
nobody
meant.
wants to insult homosexuals.
Ethan, did you know
so we replaced
was
that term with
upon
soy.
In the 90s?
Oh, was it? What are you talking about, dude?
Of course
so what?
It was.
Who cares? What does that have to do with this?
When people said being gay, they were talking about being homosexual and using a negative connotation.
Okay. Well, I disagree with you. Okay. And by the way, soy doesn't mean gay. Soy doesn't mean homosexual.
You oh my God. How many times are you going to redefine?
Do you think soy means homosexual? You think I'm sitting here saying you're homosexual by saying you're a soy boy?
Oh my God, Ethan.
That's not what I said. I said it replaced. Listen, once again. Wow, bro. See, that's so soy, dude. To just be like, wow, dude. Wow. Men don't do that. See, that's the thing. Like, real men don't behave the way you're behaving. That's soy.
How do real men
like
act,
your father, your grandfather in World War II would never go, wow, dude, I can't believe you. I'm fighting against bigotry.
It's almost like we talk differently.
You literally just said that you had
40s.
Wow, bro.
It's almost like terminology changes as the decades go on. Isn't that weird?
Yes, that's why I'm saying. We no longer use the word gay. Sometimes I do because it's pretty funny. But listen, we don't use that. We don't want to denigrate homosexuality. We don't want to denigrate them because they're our customers. We just don't want to do that. But we use the word soy to describe your behavior, which isn't homosexual. I don't know if you're interested in having sex with men, but what I do know is that your behavior is not masculine.
Oh, good. Go ahead.
It just isn't, dude.
So what? Do you need
soy
me to go
means
fight,
low testosterone.
Do you need me to go
That's
fight
right.
some Japs in World War II to prove myself to you?
No. Yes,
yeah,
I have one that you could fight. One in particular.
Well,
his name's Smiller.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Seriously, dude.
I have no interest in proving myself to you, but good fun.
Okay, good, dude. All right, good. You don't have to. I'm not asking you to. You asked me what soy means. I told you very honestly what it means.
Soy means coded to homophobia. Thank you for letting me know.
It doesn't. It doesn't because most gay men are more high T than you.
Oh, good. That's good.
You know that? I mean, gay. Yeah, it's true. Most gay men are like they're out there lifting weights and stuff. They have high testosterone. You do not.
Good.
So it has nothing to do with gay. Don't use that as an excuse.
By looking at me.
You're not as cool
impressive.
as them.
Is that your superpower?
You're not as cool as gay men are.
Cool. So your superpower
You're not as
is
cool
you can
as
look
gay
and
men.
see somebody's testosterone level? That is impressive, dude.
I'm talking to you, Robert. I'm talking to you. And you're passive aggressive. You're feminine. You're not listening to me. You're behaving like a woman.
Oh, so we're going to get some sexism in there. Jesus Christ, Ethan. Can you level
I have no problem
insult?
with that.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So we're heading.
You're asking me what things mean. You're like, I don't like your insult soy. What does it mean? Does it mean homosexual? No, it doesn't.
Those were your words.
It doesn't mean that.
Those were your words.
Because as I've just reiterated, homosexuals are more high T than you are. Whatever you are is soy. And I don't think you're gay. You could be. I don't know.
Wow, Ethan.
It means you behave in a very
quite a rabbit hole we've gone.
Non-masculine way.
Wow. Do you want to throw out any more slurs? Do you want to throw out any more slurs while you're at it? Maybe insult some more minority groups?
I'll be happy to. Ask me to define more internet terminology for you.
Cool.
And I will.
Yes. No, this is...
Everybody knows what that means.
Wow.
Everybody.
So, Ethan, this little, like,
wow,
this
bro.
homophobia and sexism you just threw out at me, do you think maybe this might be why you aren't getting work at DC and Marvel anymore?
No. I think it's because Marvel and DC can no longer afford me. I make over $1 million a book at this point. And Marvel and DC, I don't think they make that much money on a single issue. And if they did, they wouldn't be able to pay me that. That is true.
So
I will never work for them again. Ever.
Okay.
They can no longer afford me and my lifestyle. My lifestyle.
Okay. All right. So, but that wasn't what I asked you. I asked you if, not going back, but why do you think they let go of you? DC Comics would love to work with me again. They would?
They would love to.
Despite the homophobia and sexism you just demonstrate to me? I don't even have to research you. You just
yes, they don't care about that. They care about you. They care about your harassment. They don't care. I could be Mr. Homophobia. They don't care about that. They care about you harassing them. They don't. No, I assure you.
Right.
I worked with them for 20 years. They don't. And they don't care about sexism either. That'll shock you. They don't. Yeah, they care about being harassed by social justice warriors over accusations.
Must be cool with that.
Of homophobia and sexism. Yeah.
No, this was very cool illuminating, Ethan.
You gotta be cool with me. Was it? Somehow I don't think it was.
You know, it was very illuminating.
I don't think it was illuminating.
You showed me a lot of yourself.
I think you still are dim,
nicely.
Bumping into wall. That's right, Robert. Oh, Robert. What are we gonna do with you?
Yeah. I think you're going to be on... Well,
this was hilarious.
Let's see, your fans love this type of stuff, so you're probably going to be okay with this video. I think the average person watching will probably be disgusted with you, though. Just going to throw that out there.
Listen, average people shouldn't watch me. I need the elite. I need great people. Only the greatest people. People who are willing to be great. Those people should watch me. Mm-hmm. Average people, they can watch you. Below average people can watch you. And believe in the things that you say, which are lies. You've lied many times. I called you out each time that you lied.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Lies. It means when you are misconstruing or being dishonest or deceptive about things that people know are not true.
Yeah.
And you contradicted yourself a bunch of times. You weren't. Yeah, I just call them out when I see them.
Yeah,
when I hear them. Familiar with lying.
Out when I see it as well.
I've been combating lies and liars like you for about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, liars.
Ethan, so
organized
would
chaos.
Would it be truth or a lie if you said when you said that DC would bring you back? Would that be truth or a lie?
That would be true.
That took you a second. That took you a second. Yes. That's interesting.
No, you're on a delay. I answered like this.
Oh, yes.
Remember your delay?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, dude. Wow.
They would love to bring me back. All of these companies would love to. Of course, I make money. I make money hand over fist. The one thing that's preventing them, Robert, is you and people like you.
Who I have so much power with DC. That's cool.
Ridiculous. I mean, that's what you guys do.
I have so much power with DC. It's ridiculous.
Well,
I just sent him an email and said, "Hey, don't hire this guy."
Hopefully,
like,
Robert,
Ethan, I think that you
underestimate what.
Said no.
I think. Yeah, organized chaos. And Robert, I think that again, you're being a liar. You're being disingenuous. You are part of a woke mob. They don't want to deal with a woke mob. They already did. They tried to push back against the woke mob and decided it just wasn't worth it. They'd rather just be at peace. And that's why I don't work there. And that's why many people find themselves disemployed from their companies, not just DC, not just comics. People find themselves disemployed because of woke mobs who harass and disemploy people who oppose their narrative, who get in the way. Mm-hmm. That's who I am. That's who I will always be. I will always be here doing this.
Homophobia and sexism.
No, they weren't. Are you kidding me?
When I see homophobia
listen,
and
dude,
sexism,
Eddie
almost
Berganza
always
worked there for 25 years. They couldn't give a shit. They couldn't give a shit. And I'm not a homophobe either. I like the gays. I like the homosexuals. I love them.
Then why do you use it as an insult?
All of my friends are gay. All of them. Well, at least I tell them they are.
So was that single night or a lie, Ethan?
Yes, it's the truth. Ask anybody.
Sure.
I call all of my friends gay all the time, constantly. And I love the gays. It's true.
Sure.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Look at all the super chats. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, everyone. Thank you. If you enjoyed this show, thank you for the super chats. I appreciate it. That's why I did this, Robert. I did this for super chats. I did this to make money.
And also, let me make
to educate. Yeah.
I would just like to talk to your fans and say, hey, if anybody wants to talk to me, I am 100% willing to talk to you one-on-one. It's rsetlock3, the number 3, at gmail.com. Contact me. We'll talk on my channel. One-on-one. I would genuinely like to talk to your fans.
And you'll lie about them too, real time, just like you lied real time during this debate.
No,
I think you won. Are you winning, son?
I want to talk to him. I want to explain some logic and reason to him.
Okay. Did you win this debate, Robert? You winning? Are
yeah,
you and your boys
showed
winning,
your whole
son?
ass quite nicely.
Thank you very much, Robert. I appreciate it. You can go if you want to. I thank you for being here tonight. Anything else? A closing argument?
No. My chat wants to call you an incel.
Chats.
I mean, it's not inaccurate, but I mean, we're done. I've got my point across.
Incelsior, my friends.
Sure.
Hey, Organized Chaos Chat. Incelsior. Yeah. I'm the new Stanley. I'm the Stanley of 2022. Yes. Incelsior.
Oh,
True believers.
Here. Real quick, what do you think about this stuff?
Yes.
How do you feel
about come on. Let's go, Robert. What is it?
How do you feel about the stuff with Marsha? I don't remember the last name. But when you guys were trying to depict her deceased husband as Comicsgate, how do you feel about that? And she said, "Don't."
Oh, sure. Thank you. Yeah, let me explain what happened there. Are you going to listen, Robert? I'll answer this if you'll please listen.
Mm-hmm.
Will you listen?
Yes.
Okay. So what happened was I was in a live stream. Now, I knew Darwin Cook very well. You're talking about Marsha Cook.
Darwin Cook, that's it.
I knew Darwin Cook very well, but not as well as Billy Tucci did. Billy Tucci was his best friend. You know who Billy Tucci is?
No.
Do you know William Tucci of She? You don't know Billy Tucci of She. So Billy Tucci was in the chat, and he said Darwin Cook would have been Comicsgate. He would have been with us.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been here with us. Okay, Billy Tucci said that. I didn't say that.
Well, why did you argue with
Billy did his best friend.
Why did you argue with his wife on Twitter? Why didn't you just correct the
record? I didn't.
There's literally receipts.
I didn't have. What record? What record? Go back and look at.
I'm not going to dig it up right now. I don't have it on hand, but there are receipts. You know
the entire time I said, Marsha, I don't know why you're doing what you're doing, but out of Darwin's memory, I am not going to fight back. If you feel the need, because she blamed me for that, and she tried to call a harassment army, the likes of which I have not experienced before or since, against me, saying that I was claiming her husband, her deceased husband, Darwin Cook, was Comicsgate. That was a lie.
Well,
I didn't say that. Marsha
did you stand up and say
he's lying not or she was deceived.
Did you stand up and say he's not Comicsgate?
No, because he's dead. He's dead.
Well, on the wishes of his.
What I said was, whatever you're doing here, it wasn't my opinion. It was Billy Tucci's opinion.
Still, you could stand up and say,
it wasn't my opinion.
Billy
Let me
Tucci
say that
said
again.
That. I apologize.
Why? Comicsgate's a good thing. Why would I say that Darwin Cook is not Comicsgate when he specifically expressed Comicsgate-centric views on video?
Because
he said,
his wife
the thing that I hate right now in comics, I didn't say anything to her.
You're taking the
but I'm not going to sit there and go, Comicsgate is bad and he wouldn't
the wishes of his wife.
I'm not. That was not me. Billy Tucci said he believed his friend would align with our views.
But did you do anything to correct the record?
And I paid for it.
You got in conversation with her. Did you do anything to correct the
record? Robert,
You're
not listening to me. You have a problem. There is no record. He's dead. He cannot express himself.
Yeah.
He cannot say for himself. And it isn't because you're not making sense. He can't correct the record because he's deceased. His friend said that he would probably be hanging out with us.
Could you admit for one moment that maybe Billy
opinion.
Tucci and yourself don't know him as well as his wife did?
Of course, I said that then. I didn't know Darwin Cook, but why was I taking the blame for that?
Why didn't you say, "Hey, Billy Tucci misspoke"?
Because there is no record. What are you talking about? It's not my place to say that. Billy Tucci didn't.
Yeah, if we're going to argue objective facts, we won't get anywhere.
He believed, and I paid for it. Do you understand? You people lie. I did not say that. Billy did. And I paid for it because that was the scam. The scam was to blame me and Comicsgate for the opinion of Billy Tucci.
Do you know how you combat against that, Ethan?
Friend.
It's very easy. You stand up and say, Billy Tucci
I don't know how to combat against lies.
You literally just correct the record.
That because that's a lie.
You literally just correct the record.
That is a lie.
If Marsha,
I don't speak for Billy Tucci. I don't speak for
if Marsha
Darwin Cook.
You that
it's not
tweet,
my place.
It
would not be my place. It is not my place to correct Billy Tucci or Darwin Cook.
Was it on your live stream, Ethan?
Billy Tucci knew Darwin Cook. He was his friend. Yes.
So maybe you should take some responsibility for that.
His opinion.
Platformed him. He said, well, sure, it's his opinion.
I take zero responsibility for what Billy Tucci says about his deceased friend that I take the blame for disingenuously in order...
You got called out for saying something incorrect, and you're unwilling to correct the record.
You're here lying on my platform.
Oh my God!
There is no record.
You don't even understand.
There's no record, asshole. He's dead.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
He's dead. There's no record to correct.
Apparently, tried to claim his comic book gate on your live stream, and you refused to correct the record.
He didn't. He said he would be here with us. That's what he said.
And his wife corrected you, and you refused to listen to her.
I said, Marsha, I don't know why you're accusing me and why you're coming after me for this, but I am not fighting back. I said, everyone, please.
But you didn't correct the record.
She's a widow.
You didn't correct the record for her. What's up with that?
There is no record to correct, asshole. There's no...
On your live stream, it was saying that my daughter's autistic, and his wife said no, he wouldn't.
But how crippling is your autism? Why are you like this? That you don't listen and you don't respond, and I can repeat myself over and over again, and nothing penetrates your skull. You don't respond to what I'm saying.
Over and over, dodging and evading. It's ridiculous, Ethan.
You're not listening. You are not. You have a listening problem, Robert. You're asking me to correct the record. There is no record.
Problem, but whatever. You know.
It's one friend's opinion about a guy. No, I don't. I don't. Look how generous I am of spirit to have you here. I mean, you had a real problem. You didn't correct there was no record. Billy Tucci expressed his opinion about his friend. His friend is deceased. His wife disagreed. And I took the blame for it because the Whisper Network organized to make this whole thing happen in order to damage me.
Oh,
that's correct.
Was it the Illuminati?
That is correct.
Was it the Illuminati?
Yeah, you wish.
Yeah.
Robert, again, what should I have said? What would I have said if I were like you? Tell me what you would have done in that position.
Correct the record. Say, hey, Billy Tucci said something on my live stream. His wife has corrected me on this, and I apologize. This was said.
Corrected me? What do you mean corrected me? I didn't say it.
I literally just said it. Literally, if you had just tweeted or said,
so why would I say
stream,
his wife has corrected me when I didn't say? See, the problem was the whole thing was a lie.
He said it on your live stream,
and it was.
And you have to take some responsibility for that.
It was called a gay. It's called a gay op.
Gay op? Are you serious?
Why take responsibility? Yeah, gay op. I thought you'd like a soy op, Robert. I thought you'd like that. No, Robert. Why would I take responsibility for what other people say on my live stream? It was on your live stream, dude. Take responsibility for their own words.
It was on your live stream. She called you out that you got something incorrect, and you should correct the record.
Yeah, so
you should take responsibility for your platform, Ethan.
Called me out for what? For what? Why would I be called out over what Billy Tucci says? And on your live stream, Ethan,
how do you not understand that you're platforming somebody who's saying something wrong?
Billy Tucci was his best friend,
and Marsha was his wife.
Platforming Billy Tucci is a problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I don't care if you platform Billy Tucci, but I care about you letting him on and lie and not correct the record.
You're here lying. I'm trying to correct the record the best I can.
That's your best counter. You don't actually have counters to what I'm saying, so you just call me a liar.
Working out too well.
It's kind of pathetic, Ethan.
You are lying, and you
did it again.
Robert, you're lying, but I don't even think it's your fault. I think there's something. Yeah, I think there's something wrong with you. To be honest with you, but listen, it's not your fault.
Definitely something wrong.
What I'm trying to say is, again, that whole thing was a gay op. Yeah, there are a few things, but mostly I'm functional. Robert, that was a gay op. It was an internet gay op orchestrated by SJWs to create hatred for me over something that I had no responsibility for. That's what that was.
You platformed
They basically weaponized the widow with Darwin.
Listen, hold on. Platform, you have to take.
Yes, I did. I do it every.
Things said on that platform.
I do it every week. I don't know because first of all, because I might even agree with him. I talked to Darwin Cook, and Darwin Cook had opinions that his wife disagreed with, and I used to watch him roll his eyes at his wife. Okay, so Darwin Cook probably didn't always agree with Marsha, so I saw that happen.
So you
see, Darwin Cook was a widow.
Billy Tucci and yourself
is a widow who was weaponized.
Know this guy more than his
utilized
wife. That's your argument.
No, definitely not. No.
Okay.
Well, my argument is, Billy Tucci knew him very well, better than me, and my argument is also, I think Darwin Cook agreed with us about a lot of things because he said so.
So again, you're arguing that you guys knew him better than his wife.
No, I didn't know him better than his wife. I
and
don't
then
know
you turn around and say
like.
you do.
But what I do know, I didn't say that. I didn't say I knew what his penis looked like. That's ridiculous. But Darwin Cook was the type of guy who expressed himself in no uncertain terms, and he let his opinions out there. He let people know what he believed. And if you'll, Robert, are you ready for this? You want to? Let's ask the man himself, who's no longer with us, but he did leave his words behind. Here's Darwin Cook.
About just doing something of my own. I wanted to do something that we could maybe use another name to bring another audience in.
Okay.
And having been such a fan of the books, that was my first thought. And so I phoned my editor, Scott Dunbeer, and said, see if we can get the rights to these books. And let's do it. And that was how we were to the races.
And how was the response been?
Beyond our imagination. I think we sold probably twice as much as we thought we would. And the book...
It's great, man. The guy was a legend.
So much attention. It couldn't have worked out. Did glowing reviews. And now we know it's economically viable to go ahead.
Well, I read the story. I thought it was great, and I think it's great that you are expanding the medium a little bit, but I know that you said you're probably not going to go back to superheroes, right?
Well, not in any big way.
Okay,
so they're asking him, you're not going to go back to superheroes, are you? He said, not in any big way.
Is there anything that you think maybe you want to come
Yeah, I want them to stop catering to the perfect Black Canary. I don't want to hear Batman wearing. I don't want to see him feeding a boy rats. I don't want to see characters getting raped in the...
Is Robert here or did he leave?
No, I'm here. It's very choppy.
Robert's here. Okay. Robert, you hear what he's saying? Okay, good. All right, get ready for this.
Straight for 60 years become decent.
What did he say?
Well, characters that have been straight for 60 years become
did
gay.
You hear that part?
It's very choppy.
He said, I don't want writers are so stupid.
Time, and when the industry of superhero comics realigns its sights to the young people it was meant for, I'll be there with both arms and feet.
Okay. How'd that sound to you?
Hey,
Does it sound a little bit like me?
No,
or did that sound
I won't
like
go that far.
You?
I won't go that far. It sounded like kind of a mix in the middle, but
all right.
Still.
So Darwin Cook was Darwin Cook.
Dude,
no,
right
Darwin
now
Cook was
that
likely.
You know him better than his wife. That's what you're arguing right now. That's your stance.
I'm listening to his words. No, I'm not. No, that is a lie. That is manipulation. That is emotional blackmail.
So when his wife says he won't be Comicsgate,
and he is talking like me.
Maybe she knows better than you.
I feel sorry for her. I'm sure she misses him. No. I'm sorry for her. I know she misses him, but I also knew the two of them, okay, and they disagreed politically. And so he's no longer here to speak for himself. And that's fair. His words are left behind. And his friend, Billy Tucci, who was one of his best friends, said, I think he would be here with us. Mm-hmm. And that caused somebody to weaponize his widow against Comicsgate and blame me for what Billy Tucci said. Now, time has passed. I think Billy was right.
All right. So,
how do you like that? I think Billy was right. Yep. So come after me.
So you are currently arguing that Darwin Cook is Comicsgate. Is that what your argument is?
No, I'm saying the words that he said back then align with what I say now.
All right.
So I think, sure. Yeah, he would probably in some ways be sympathetic towards Comicsgate in some ways.
So have you ever said that he's Comicsgate?
No.
So you've never
I'm not saying it now.
Comicsgate?
No.
All right. This is interesting. Here's a tweet from you. Have fun scraping work in a dead industry that if you suck enough corporate dick, you'll be able to earn in a lifetime what I earned drawing frogs independently. By the way, Darwin Cook was
show it. Bring it up.
Listen, man, it's choppy, but here's a tweet. It's your tweet, Ethan. I see your little check mark.
Okay.
I can show it to my audience. Let's see, is that coming?
Show it to me, too.
We can give it a shot. It might be choppy.
Yeah.
Your own words, Ethan. Yeah.
I stand by them, dude. Show it closer. Hold on a second. I'll blow you up. Wait a minute. And by the way, Darwin Cook was Comicsgate. Yes. Excellent.
So guess what, Ethan?
Well, I stand by it. I just said it tonight.
Yeah, guess what, Ethan?
What's that?
What you just did was called a lie.
I don't know. I forgot. I forgot that I tweeted that once in anger. But I agree with it. I stand by it.
So you're gonna go ahead and stand by that you know him better than his wife?
No.
Oh my God.
I don't know what his penis looked like. I didn't live with him. I don't know what his life was like day to day. Why do you think that means? Why do you think I've listened to his opinions. I take them seriously. Why do you think that means I know him better than his wife?
Because
that's a silly thing to assert.
Because she's saying he's not Comicsgate, and you're saying no, he is.
He's dead. He's deceased.
Yes, and maybe his wife knows him better.
Maybe he's not now. Robert, all I did was look at that video, and it really seems a lot like he agrees with us or agreed with us back then.
Mm-hmm. But
in that moment in time, he definitely agreed with us.
His wife says he doesn't.
He's dead.
Oh my God, Ethan. He
doesn't have an opinion anymore.
Your whole argument is that, I don't know him better than his wife, but I do. That's your argument right now.
No, it isn't.
Okay, and I got a super chat here. What's that video got to do with what he did?
What does that mean? What do you think that question means?
Did that video... I'll be blunt, it's a super chat. I'm a little lost exactly where he's going with it.
Darwin Cook was Comicsgate. That's fucking awesome, dude.
So yeah.
I don't remember tweeting that, but I stand by it as I've just done.
I like
that.
I
believe he
was
like
that. You're calling me a liar all the time, but it turns out you're the liar.
Well, no, you're lying right here. Like you are. No. I expressed my opinion, and you said, "Did you ever say he was Comicsgate?" And I said, "I don't think so. No." But maybe I did. No. But I'm telling you now, I think he was Comicsgate. All right.
So what your whole argument is his wife is wrong, I'm right. On her husband.
I don't know. I'm saying what I'm saying.
God,
she disagrees with me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You don't like that?
Dude,
just played you a video that sounds like Comicsgate.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Darwin Cook was clearly aligned with Comicsgate values. When he made that video, he had the same complaints that we do today. He was right. Prescient. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want to go to war with a widow, asshole. You know what I mean? Stop it.
Well, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
go back and read my tweets from back then.
Yes.
I don't want to go to war with her. No, I didn't.
We've seen the
No,
tweets
that's a
already.
matter of record. You can see me being very gracious to Marsha Cook during that ridiculous gay op, which is what it was.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got all I need. But yes, again, I want to stress, any of your audience listening, please just contact me. I would love
Darwin
to talk
Cook
to you.
Probably was Comicsgate, and he had good opinions. He was sick and tired of woke.
And I think it's disgusting you try to change the memory of a man despite to go against the wishes of his widow. That is disgusting.
Doing the same thing. Turn your camera.
Now we had camera for a moment.
Off.
Okay. But yeah.
Yeah, now I can hear you again. What were you saying?
No, I simply was saying I think it's disgusting. Fuck, I lost my stream of thought. I already said on my chat. They heard it.
I don't care.
Good.
Reality is reality. Don't. I think it's disgusting that I'm just saying, look, I listened to what he said. His values align with mine. I think it's disgusting that you're not allowed to say that because a grieving widow disagrees with you. That's a disgusting predicament to put anyone in, but that's where you stand. And because of that, I can't be fully honest.
So I
have to go, I have to kind of take her feelings into consideration because Robert is making me do that because she wants to see her husband one way and I knew him kind of another way. But now it's like, did you know him as well as what? No, I didn't. But I heard what he used to say, and he used to hang out with us and stuff like that. And that's why Billy said what he said. Billy said it, not me, but Billy was right. Okay, he was.
I think
he
it's
was
disgusting
like that.
You try to take
that's who Darwin Cook probably
of a person
was.
Who's deceased
I don't care.
The wishes of his wife.
I'm not. You
That's
are.
Pretty disgusting.
I don't care.
That's pretty disgusting.
I no longer care.
Okay.
I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. Reality is reality. You can feel like it's disgusting and you don't like it, but reality is reality. I just played you his words, and you say, "Well, what about his wife?" I'm sorry.
Well, I think it's interesting. Sorry. You know, one thing he didn't say in his
Are
words
we arguing about? Do I have to change what do I have to ignore reality for someone's feelings? Reality is that's what he believed. That's what he felt. That's what he said.
So again, you're arguing that
what do
you
know
him better than his wife.
About that, do you want to confront that, or do you want to just go? But what about his widow? I don't say that. I'm just watching his video and listening to his words.
Do you know about a video called?
Stop making it about her.
Do you know about
she and he were two different people? Do you understand that like women are different than their husbands? They're two different individuals and they could disagree.
Do you understand that maybe she knows him better than you do? But anyways, Jedi of Osis chat.
I already said that. I already said, of course she does.
Do you know about a channel?
But there were aspects. I will say this about. No, but I will say this. There are aspects of Darwin Cook that I think that unfortunately she disagreed with. They would talk politics, and he would roll his eyes behind her. He was very funny. Okay, he was libertarian, conservative. He leaned conservative for a Canadian, and he disagreed with her. She would go, I can't believe you think that people shouldn't be allowed to kill their babies. You're against abortion. She would say this to me. And I just look at her like, she said that. I don't think they should kill their babies. And he would be behind. She did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. You don't know who she was. And Darwin would be behind her like, like that.
Yeah.
And that's my experience. That's my experience with them. Sorry, I actually knew them. You didn't.
You're literally just making fun of her right now. This is ridiculous, dude. I think we're good.
I'm sorry. That's the way she spoke. I knew them. You didn't.
Well, listen, Ethan. I hope you have a good day, and I mean this genuinely. I hope one day
Billy was
look
their
back
friend.
On your life
And you are not.
The choices you've made in the past few years. I genuinely hope this, dude. I genuinely hope the best for you. Because this path you're on, this group you're making, these are not good things.
I appreciate it.
Okay? I genuinely hope the best for you going forward, okay?
Yes, they are. Okay, well, let me explain something to you. You are a lunatic. You are woke. Your thought process, your belief system is going to be disgraced by history as it already is being. You want to prevent people from making comics. And at the end of the day,
no, I don't.
At the end of the day, you cannot coexist with other viewpoints. You call them bigotry. And you want to lie and disgrace people. You call everything bigotry. That's your tactic. And you've got to get over it.
No, I only call bigotry.
You can't just call people who disagree with you bigots. You can't just call people who disagree with you bigots. That's no way to go through life. You can't do it. You can't do it, Robert. Yeah. I'm not going to let you. You are not going to call Comicsgaters just because they disagree with you. You're not going to call them names. I'm sorry, you're not. They're great people. They were customers of comic books.
Ethan,
people like you and your thought process drove them away, and it ain't better. Things aren't better because of you. Things are not you haven't.
Yeah, we are done with that.
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.